Tech Champions. My name is Butler. I'm going to be showing you what I contributed to the Musa Momsha Primary School website for Code Genius. So I started with the wireframe as just a basic bare bones structure of how to design it and where to put the CSS and how it should look. As you can see, it has the school crest right on top, and then the school slogan, name, and then a nav bar all on the header, and in the footer has the social media links, the trademark, and then in the middle is a welcome paragraph, and then I decided to make it look, because the homepage, or this is the first page you'll see on the website. I decided to make it more flashy and add a animation of 3 pictures moving from the right side to the center. As you'll see, it doesn't look exactly like this, but this is just the general idea that we used as a kind of design or schematic for what the website should look like. As you can see, this is the full website right here, and it kind of looks like that, but things have been changed, and that we elected to take the slogan out because we couldn't find the actual slogan for the school, and we didn't want to make one up since this was going to be an actual website. So if we look at the code, the first thing that I added was the nav bar. That's what the first thing I was in charge of. And as you can see, it has links to the home page, the About Us, and the school events page, the 3 pages that was required. But instead of the nav bar just having anchors that lead to different points on the same page, we decided to make the web page more dynamic and uniform, and decided, just because most of the other groups were doing the navigation anchor thing, we decided that we were going to make a sort of web page in a web page, as we decided that this would be the header and the footer would be on one page as an index, and then the nav bar would have links to other pages which would appear in the iframe as seen here. So this is the iframe part of the web page. As you can see, when I select different links on the nav bar, it changes what appears in the iframe, and this way is also better because you can kind of scroll without scrolling to the footer or the header. So you can kind of go through the information without being distracted by other points on the page. And we jumped a bit ahead, but that's the other thing that I added, was the iframe of the actual web page. I was also in charge of the fonts and the headings. Most of the headings I chose Times New Roman because it's a more formal font, and it's also recognizable and used a lot in other web design and pages. So that I also decided to create another nav link on the nav box on the About Us page, and this actually works with anchors like normal nav boxes do. We did this because the About Us page is actually a lot of scrolling, and we decided we'd make it easier for the user by selecting different points on the nav bar and letting that lead to the different headings on the actual About Us page. I decided to make it easier for myself with the headings, and just every H1 heading, I decided to put it in the CSS box as the same thing. So every heading that has H1 on it looks exactly the same. As you can see here, it's extra large, like it's blue in color. It has, to make it stand out more, also decided to put a border, a solid border around the actual box or background, and then have the border color be black to make the blue and the writing stand out more. And as you can see, because I did it this way, almost every header is the same. It gives the school page and website more uniformity, and you can easily recognize that a page from this website is from this website. I think the most difficult thing that we tried to achieve was the actual the slideshow header, because it it took a lot of CSS to make the background of the writing and the insignia, school name, and the nav bar appear on the actual slideshow. And the pictures at the back took a lot of Java code as well. So that was a learning experience for me, because I didn't know how to do that before starting work on the actual website. Another learning experiences was the animation on the homepage. That was also new, and I also had to improve on it as I went along, because I didn't want the animation to take too long, because then it looked like the website was maybe not loading properly, and that could also put a bad taste in a first time visitor's mouth. So that we also elected to make the animation shorter, as you can see. Another thing that I learned is the animation. As you can see, the picture sliding across. Um, we wanted to make the home page stand out a little, as it is the first page you see. I think I've mentioned that already. And the way I thought of doing that was adding an animation. As you can see here, it moves. It just moves across the scene to the center, and yeah, that's basically it. But before this, I didn't even know that you could do animations in HTML. I had to learn how to do it, and yeah, this was a learning experience for me, because I didn't know how to do this at, at first, and it took me a while to figure out all the kinks and how exactly to do it. But then I did it, and I'm pretty proud of that. So that is all from my side. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the rest of your week.